17 years ago, my good friend from graduate school, Dr. Jeffrey Trent, who was the intramural director of the Human Genome Research Institute, contacted me. We had been close and stayed close over the decades, but he said, I think it's time to launch a new venture, taking the human genome from being a research tool to a medical, diagnostic, and prognostic and therapeutic resource for patients in need.
City of Phoenix and its partners invested $500 million in the Phoenix Biomedical Campus, where TGen is located.
The City of Phoenix stepped up and offered the opportunity to partner with this enterprise and build a research building built to suit for a genomics enterprise. It's now TGen. So I've been part of TGen from 6 months prior to its inception, and now 17 years later, thrilled and amazed and also hungry for more to push the boundaries of what we understand about human disease.
Dr. Berens actually dropped out of college as a young man, studying engineering. He went back to school, fell in love with biology, and ended up getting a PhD in cancer biology.
My undergraduate and graduate degrees are both from Arizona universities. I then traveled internationally for my training to Switzerland. Boy, I love being a Phoenician. It's fantastic, great place to live, to work, to raise a family, develop networks of friends, and to grow and innovate. Genomics did not exist when I was a little guy. The DNA structure was described the year I was born, in 1953. And so here we are, grown up together, understanding the genetic code now and putting it to work on behalf of patients. So my research at TGen involves a tumor, a brain tumor, called glioblastoma. When I describe this disease, I remind people that there are basically two kinds of cells in the brain. There's neurons and not neurons. The neurons are the cells that think, that create nerve impulses, that let us perceive, think, sense our environment, have memories, even the things we're unaware of, the control of blood pressure, heart rate, those types of things. So the neurons are the thinking part of the brain. But the not neurons is a huge variety of cell types in the brain that stabilize, nourish, control, and protect the neurons. Curiously, the neurons in the brain almost never become cancer. Almost never. The not neurons become troublemakers when they start to grow. And so a big class of these not neurons in the brain are called glial cells. These glial cells can become tumor cells. The most common form of a tumor of glial cells is the glioblastoma. It's not a common tumor, but it is the most common primary tumors that start in the brain. It's a very aggressive tumor.
As a researcher, Dr. Berens is excited about the many breakthroughs and cutting-edge trials and protocols happening right here in Phoenix.
I think one of the more fascinating things that excites me about coming to work every day has been recent findings that in developing immune therapy against the tumor, we've recently learned, and in fact earlier this year was published, that giving the immune therapy before you remove the tumor actually improves the efficacy. Normally, the knee-jerk reaction to cancer is take it out, get rid of it right away. But in the case of trying to teach a patient's own immune system to attack their own tumor, if we remove all the tumor and then give the immune therapy, the agents of therapy have been removed as well. The immune cells that were with the tumor got taken out. So actually giving some of these newer immune therapies while the tumor is intact and then take it out weeks later, looks like that's going to be a great step forward, which changes how we think about taking care of those patients. Arizona has been described as expressing what we call the collaborative gene. And this is really well embodied in the place where I work at TGen, where we bring cutting-edge genomic technology and scientific expertise to clinical partners anywhere and everywhere. Many of them are here in the Phoenix area in the state of Arizona, so we work with the major medical partners. We're proud to be working with colleagues at Mayo Clinic, which is located around the nation with their 3 clinical sites. but we work with our colleagues at the University of Arizona Cancer Center and other programs at the University of Arizona. We work with partners who say, bring your technology and let's see if we can't push the envelope, move the needle for advances for patients with diseases. We just like to work with partners that say, bring your A game, match with our clinical A game, and let's see how far we can move. I don't think there's a translational researcher, either in the clinic or in the laboratory, who's content with the status quo. I work mostly with malcontents, people that don't like where things are and want to change that. The wherewithal to change status quo is the ideas, the motivation to change, and then the resources to make that happen. We've indicated that the patients and the patient advocates are an enormous catalyst. What Arizona offers, what Phoenix particularly offers, is that opportunity to take a chance. We are not risk averse, but then also believe in yourself that you give me a chance, I'm going to show how we can push the envelope here, and then build those collaborations to let that fully mature and have other people add to its success. What's really exciting me about cancer specifically is that our understanding of the genomics of the disease is that cancer is many, many, many subtypes. We've known that there were subtypes based on the organ in which the tumor emerged: lung cancer, pancreas cancer, colon cancer, brain cancer. So we knew there were those subtypes, but now we could even just take pancreas cancer and realize that there are subtypes. And as we better understand these subtypes, it's sort of like separating out and now isolating and focusing on a treatment breakthrough for a specific subtype where we can get really good at it. And that's where we learn how to beat subtype B, C, D. And so I do believe that we're going to see major breakthroughs in shifting cancer from being an acutely terminal disease into one that gets managed chronically, and that it will be other aging diseases that will become the terminal events in people's lives, and not this horrific, disfiguring, painful disease of cancer.